Howard Mazda Club, yo. It's not every day that you see another slammed Miata in your neighbourhood. Looks fucking sick, mate. Shout out to you if you ever watched the video, blood. Ting ting.
Folks, welcome back. Third episode. Today I wanted to talk about the HardTop and how to purchase one and what to look out for when you're buying one. At the moment, I'm currently looking for a filming location, just because I don't really want to film in front of loads of people that might stop and ask questions, because a lot of people from where I come from don't understand how the internet works. So first of all, I wanted to sort of talk about this HardTop. So I purchased this HardTop not all that long ago for a fairly good price, actually. I won't disclose that number in case I already have. I won't disclose that number. Thank you very much, sir. I won't disclose how much I paid for it. However, I paid a fair price. I think I paid a good price for the price that they are being asked for in the UK. Now, I don't know what it's like anywhere else in the world, but in the UK, these HardTops go for silly money. Silly money. I've seen many of them online. Now, when I was looking for one, I sort of, as soon as I bought the car, as soon as I realised that the car had one, I was not disappointed, but I was a bit like, actually, do you know what? I really, really want to get one for this car. It's a shame that it's not got one. Yeah, it's a shame it's not got one. So I sort of thought about it and thought, actually, do you know what? I'd much rather get my hands on one sooner rather than later, because I know that once I've got one, you know, I can get a nice good price for it. Well, not just for the HardTop, but for the car as well. So I wanted to cover a few things, first of all, about the HardTop. Now, the colour of this HardTop is black. I haven't owned any other HardTops apart from this one, so I wouldn't know if this is colour matched to the outside of the car, or I have a funny feeling that it's all, this piece in here only comes in one colour, which is black. So that's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the interior finish on this one. Now, I've seen other ones that have got like a cloth interior finish, and I don't know if that's standard or aftermarket for these cars, but the point is that I do like how the inside of these soft tops, how the inside of these HardTops are finished. I like what they're made of. I like the fact that they don't provide any echo. This skin in here, even though you can hear, this is a very good example of one of the things I'm going to talk about in a second, but as you can hear, these HardTops being old or being older, you know, they do fucking squeak for a pastime, even with a decent set of coilovers in the car. I like the fact that there's no echo, which is quite nice. Usually the issue with these is they have a tendency to delaminate and start to fall apart on you, which means that you'll be driving along and all of a sudden this sheet will start to rattle away, essentially like a massive sheet of metal would, if you were sort of, you know, holding it and causing it to bend deliberately. So that's the first thing. I like the finish, I've already said that. I've also seen ones that have got mid-interior lights. I don't know how they work, and I don't know if that's an aftermarket feature or not. I'm tempted to say that that's aftermarket, even though the HardTop is strictly an aftermarket feature in itself. Also as well, this screen came out of a very, very early car, which meant that the rear screen for this car is actually a solid piece, and it's not a... Let me just quickly get over this speed bump, that fucking scratch in the bottom of the car. So the rear screen in this one is a non-heated one, even though this car has all the wiring included in it, I believe as an optional extra for a heated screen. Now, the roof for this car came out of a 1990 car, I don't remember, but the roof itself is quite an early roof, so it's a lot older than the car in terms of age. However, I would say once you have a look at it, the wet is going to give it that glossy look. It's going to make it look a lot better than it actually is. But I'll be honest with you, in the grander scheme of things, right, now where the hell are we? In the grander scheme of things, this does make the HardTop look a little bit better in the wet. Now, I'll be honest with you, this HardTop is in fair condition for 27 years of age. I have seen HardTops that are in worse condition, and I've seen soft tops that are in worse condition as well. And it sort of came down to the reason I bought this HardTop. I keep calling it a soft top, and I'm going to do that all episode. But the reason I bought this HardTop was partly because it was complete, but also as well is that the brackets. So you have 4 brackets on these cars that need to be adjusted and tied down. You've got the front two, which is here and here. And then, and I don't know how many people run these because I have seen cars that don't have them, you've got the shoulder brackets. So I've got one to my right here and there's one on the left over there. And that essentially ties the roof down onto the car. So this brings the roof forward onto the car, and those bring the roof down onto the car. And I think that plays a vital role in holding the roof down to the car. Now, I've seen a lot of people that don't own the side brackets, so therefore just don't buy any of the other bits they need to strap it down to the car properly. Now that's fine, but I would say in England it rains probably once a week, wherever you are, and the downside of that is that things get wet, moisture gets in. Now these cars do suffer with moisture getting in and out of them for a pastime, which it's okay, it's not the end of the world. I have no idea where I am. Absolutely no fucking idea. And I've got a car on my arse. I'm going to fucking pull over here and let this fucker go past. Because I can't be dealing with that. If I'm honest with you. Yeah, fuck off. Knobhead. The issue, I would say, with these cars, and you can probably see it in the rear screen now, is that they missed up for a pastime. And the issue with cars that missed up for a pastime, it means that moisture's getting in them. I've got, you probably can't see them, I have moisture bags that I run in this. Have I got one here? There you go, one moisture bag. Just quickly negotiate this speed bump. Now, these moisture bags are really useful, and if you do own an MX-5, I would strongly recommend getting hold of one. And the reason I say that is that, alright, you know, should you have to buy all this extra gear just to keep your car in working order? Well, I've been in the car since the car was cold. And actually, apart from the rear screen misting up, which is just due to the wet weather, there hasn't been any additional window misting up, which has been pretty decent because actually the windows are wound all the way up. So I've spoken about the latching, I've spoken about the interior finish. I would imagine, and I still think this now, that all MX-5 hardtops to this day have been made by Mazda. I think these are all made by Mazda. I believe that Carb-ed and Miata have started to make carbon finish ones, but I would probably suggest that the inside or the interior bits are probably Mazda components, I think. Although I don't want anyone to quote me on that, because there is a very slim chance that actually, as much as these components are custom made, they might actually be made by Carb-ed Miata and not Mazda. Right, in the middle of absolutely fucking nowhere, a few houses over there. Wanted to talk about the rest of the hardtops. So you've got things to watch out for. Front rubber, like this one here. Need to make sure that stays in pretty good condition. You've got window rubbers that run around and down the side of the car. You need to also make sure that they stay in good condition. Now these ones were replaced. You've also got that back rubber that's squeaking, which is the one that runs along the bottom and the back of the car. That one also fucking squeaks quite badly. And I'll show you, you can see that there's no copper wiring that runs through the rear screen. Now these are the back latches, and the way these work is you drop the roof down, then you push it forward like that, and the front two brackets, the one that's there and there, as you tighten it down, it pushes the roof forward. Back seal, maybe watch out for those as well. That's something else that's always, I would say as a general rule of thumb actually, just keep an eye on the sills with these cars. Not the sills, the seals, as they are the ones that do go. Just, you know, be wary. Obviously, do the water test it with that hose first of all. If it doesn't have any water in, then you're all good, I guess. What else? So I wanted to get down more into this piece here. This is a single piece of fiberglass. Obviously, the way these roofs work, it's going to be very, very windy where I am currently. So bear that in mind. In fact. So what I wanted to talk about really was that single piece of fiberglass. Now, the issue with these is if the roof is old, there is a high chance that it's not been looked after properly. So the first thing I would say with the roof is obviously make sure there's no external damage to it. It's going to obviously leak through and prevent the fiberglass from being impermeable. Now, first thing is this crack that's here. Can you see that crack that's just there? It's just there. Now that tells me that it's probably been dropped or stepped on, or it's difficult to say, but I don't think that's a fracture that's come about from being put on the roof of this car. So that's the first thing. Looks like there's like a mismatch of paint here, and that's not coming off. I have tried to T-cut that, but that looks like it's on there permanently. And there's obviously some cracking around here as well, so I am tempted to say that this roof might have been repainted at some stage in its life. not particularly well. It's bad around the back of here as well. It makes me think that they've repainted that bit and forwards and not this back rear piece. So the back rear piece is all original. Just tempted to say that, really. Can't actually see if I can see the same sort of evidence on the other side, although now that I pick it out you can see there's like a line that runs there, although there's not the same stress fractures here. So over to this side of the roof, there's a bit of shit on there, look, bird shit as expected, a bit more damage down here, but more importantly, this is where the water's not helping. There are actually, so this like shell has actually started to bubble at the front. Now you need to be wary of that, because there are times where, you know, if that does come loose, that could potentially be the start of, not rust, but it could be potentially the start of your roof delaminating, and that's going to cause you problems, and that's going to begin a very expensive restoration of a roof that you probably didn't think about. All in all, the first thing as well, whenever you put it on, just take a step back and go, does it look right on the car? Now usually you can tell if it's been dented or dropped because it will sit funny in comparison to the A-pillar, which is obviously a single piece on these cars, so it will sit funny to here. Always check as well, you can always tell by using your fingers. Something else to check as well is always wind the window up, if you're lucky enough to have a window winder. Give it a shut and just see what your shut line looks like as well. If it's nice and even around on both sides, and there's a bit of a gap here, but I am going to let that slide because I believe it's exactly the same on the other side, and I'll explain why now. Yeah, so always keep an eye out for sort of things like that. Obviously, if this window here looks like it's just starting to go a bit higher, and I would blame that on these seals here. So have a look. Just, you know, best thing to do with these sort of hard tops is always use your eyes, because your eyes are always a good source of being able to establish whether things are broken or not. Take a step back, have a look at it, and go, actually, does this roof look like it might have been dropped, damaged, or dented? And I'll be honest with you, the lower you get, the easier it is to tell. To be honest with you, I'd look at this roof, I'd say, yeah, it's probably been stepped on. I could also tell that it's probably been repainted, but as I said, I'm not a skilled mechanic, so I reckon anyone could pick that out at the end of the day. I don't think there's anything else to say, really. All in all, just make sure that you keep things nice and clean. Make sure as well that keeping things clean is a good indication of whether things are broken. So I didn't realise that this crack was here until I gave the car a good wash, and you can see how dirty it is again already. But I gave the car a good wash, and that showed up all sorts of shit that I didn't realise that was actually wrong with this roof. Now, I don't know if you can see, is it on this side? Yeah, so there's a bubble there. See that bubble there? That's not water, that's a bubble. Don't know if that's paint, don't know if it's delaminating, could never tell you, but it's always important to keep an eye out for these things. Always important. So folks, I think that's just about everything that I want to talk about the roof. If you've enjoyed this video and you want me to do more sort of walk arounds, talk about the car and all that sort of cool stuff, then please do let me know. Just drop something in the comments box down below. The only issue I would say is where I live, and I don't know if you can hear that, but I live in a city, which means that there's lots of cars about, lots of people, so it's very difficult to film these sort of videos without being away from people. I've been quite fortunate that I've had a little gap on this road actually, where I've been able to do this without being interrupted. I will do a walk around of the car at some point. I know a few of you might have noticed a few things that you're interested and want to know about. I'll do that at some point. I'm tempted to film it back to back now, but I shall let you know how we get on. Anyway folks, without further ado, thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you on the flip side. See you later. Bye bye. I'm just going to try and get a thumbnail.